first of all, thank you so much for the invitation to talk about the evaluation of research interest group here at the Organizational Assembly Advisory Board meeting, to which all members of the Organizational Assembly are welcome and invited. Really appreciate the opportunity. Second, just FYI, I've been sick all weekend and I might still be a little bit foggy. So if I am and I'm a little bit wandering, I'm so sorry. Just please pull me back on track and it will be great. So with all of that. So first off, I wanted to do a quick round of introductions for those who don't know me. Hi, my name is Amy Nurnberger. I'm a member of the Organizational Assembly representing the Massachusetts Institute of Technology from the libraries. I also sit on council, and I've previously been a member of the Organizational Advisory Board. And now I have this wonderful opportunity to co-chair the group on evaluation of research, along with three other amazing people. Francoise Genova, whom you know, who is in this meeting and will help pull me back on track, I'm sure, if I wander too far. Devika Madali from the Indian Statistical Institute, and Emma Krott out of Australia. So what have we been working on? Well, we've been thinking about this space, all of us, I'm sure, for a long time, because evaluation of research is definitely an area that needs attention, consideration, many perspectives contributing to this. But within the scope of RDA, Francoise started to organize the Birds of the Feather group starting in P19. And as you can see from the timeline here, we've been consistently working on putting the group together and just had our first plenary meeting this past plenary where we kicked the interest group off. Now, the objectives for the interest group is really to advocate for fair data and software as outputs within the current research, within the research evaluation frameworks. And in that space, really trying to leverage what RDA does best in providing the space of convening many disparate, relevant, varied perspectives around this topic of research in varied ways where data shows up within research, where software shows up within research within this space of sharing, and how all of our expertises across the RDA community can be brought together to thoughtfully reconsider how the research evaluation framework can evolve to acknowledge, to respect the immense amount of work that goes into developing these outputs, along with the more traditional outputs that are regularly considered in research evaluation frameworks. So far, we have been working, like I said, we've had our first interest group kickoff. We've participated in 2 cross-fertilization workshops, which have been really great opportunities to hear from the RDA community, to converse with them, to bring back feedback and incorporate it. And that's been really great. One of the other things that we're doing within this interest group is we've developed a stakeholder forum. And this stakeholder forum is made up of leaders of various RDA interest groups and working groups. And this is the tool we're using to bring those conversations together, as well as leaders of efforts that exist outside of RDA. So there are a number of representatives of those groups within the stakeholder forum as well. And those are all written down so you can go read them. I don't need to spend your time at this point doing a list where you can read those lists. Some of the challenges are well known to you, I'm sure, in this space. At the same time, this space can be so large that we don't, as the interest group, want to fix the entirety of the evaluation of how the framework for evaluating research. So these are the challenges that we're working on in this space. We really want to consider, again, how we can take what is a fragmented landscape and bring it together more coherently, both thinking of different ways that research is evaluated in different settings, whether that's a disciplinary setting, a national setting, a system setting, and again, really leveraging what RDA brings, which is this immense spectrum of experience and expertise to this area. We want to focus on we found this great quote from the UN General Assembly Science Summit that we really wanted to to build upon that around our goals for this group, that we want to reward, recognize, and support the diversity of roles and responsibilities and their importance in the overall academic research ecosystem when it comes to data, when it comes to the research software that supports and works with data, that makes the data useful and meaningful. So what have we done? Where are we going with this? One of the task groups that we're working on establishing that we're already doing work in is creating this preliminary landscape analysis. Where we are right now with that is first steps and discussion. There's been some really good work doing a first hit kind of overview on that, doing some categorization of what are the different perspectives that are presented by the different groups within RDA. And if you have questions about where we are, you're interested in being like, hey, I want to get in on that, I want to see what you've been doing, please do reach out to me or to Francoise or any of our other co-chairs, and we'd be happy to point you in the direction of that group. I think your perspectives can be really valuable, knowing how these are represented within each of your organizations. So our expected outcomes for this work are to document what is to some degree of precision, RDA's role within the evaluation of research in this landscape, to be able to identify those interfaces and collaborations so that together we can make the most of them in this space. And like I said, to refine that typology that we've already started to develop there. One of our other spaces of work that really came up in the plenary is something that would be useful to people is to develop user stories and use cases, building on the RDA community, what we have together, and thinking not just at like the individual use case of what evaluation looks like, but we really want to encompass and to understand what those different systems look like at national and institutional levels. And this is really a place where we're coming to the organizational assembly and saying, please help us help you. Help us understand what it is that you see as your setting, as your challenges, as the things you need to address with regard to data and software in your research evaluation framework. And contribute those user stories so that we can bring this together in a way that we can have those useful conversations going forward about what's important in this space. How can we help each other understand how to go forward here? And we're looking, and that really goes into, how else can the organizations, the members of this group contribute to this effort? So in addition to the user stories that I just talked about, and just as an FYI, this is a group that, Francoise, please correct me if I go astray here, but I believe we're applying for assistance to the Tiger group for that. Is that correct? Yes. So this is a group that we're looking to develop into a working group, this user story kind of collection effort. So we're applying to the EU Tiger group for support and assistance in that effort. But one of the other things that we know exists is that there is a lot of writing. There are a lot of articles, there are a lot of white papers, there's a lot of thought that has already gone into this space of evaluating research. So asking you, what do you as organizations, what are the documents that you consider relevant? What are the things that you base your thinking off of? What are the things, the considerations that are guiding you at this point as your organization is considering how to develop, evolve, to face the challenges, the asks of evaluating research in a way that supports your goals, your missions, and your research communities? And as we wrap this up, I want to turn to you and also ask, what is it you would find useful as organizations in this space? We want to make sure that as this interest group, we are engaging in ways that are useful, informative to the RDA community, and acknowledging the role of evaluation of research to organizations, the care, the interest that we as organizational representatives have in this. What is it you would find useful work in this space that we might turn our attention to as well?